everybody. Welcome back to the Smartest Studio series, where smart artists gather to share their wisdom, creativity, and innovative approaches to art making and running a successful art business. I'm Debra Amerson. I'm happy to be your host on this journey of inspiration and creativity. Today, we're going to dive into a game-changing topic, how AI can revolutionize your art business. Our guest today is a dear old friend, Priscilla Street, an artist interested in using AI to enhance her business efficiency and creativity in her art business. Welcome, Priscilla.
Hi, Deb. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share some insights today.
Cool. I'm thrilled to have you. To start, Priscilla, tell us a little bit about your art background and how you think AI could possibly enhance your art business.
Well, I'm looking forward to retiring soon, and that's when I really am going to focus super hard on my art business and getting myself marketed and out to the world. Um, I started in crafts and painting with my mom years and years ago. And a few years ago, my daughter asked if I would paint some step stools for my grandson. So I did. I painted a little seascape, um, which I can share my screen with you for that. And then she had another child, which she wanted another separate stool. So basically, it's morphed into custom paintings, custom stools for children. They use them all the time to wash their hands in the bathroom or climb into their beds at night. And so it's a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Mhm.
And it customizes for the individual's home, and it can fit in color scheme or imagery. And so I like to collaborate with my clients.
Mhm. So, how do you see AI becoming a tool to do that? Or, I mean, I know that you're not using AI currently, and that's why we're having this Zoom. But can you see some potential for your stool business with collaborating with customers?
Absolutely. I actually got very stimulated talking with you and looking at your website. So I went on to an AI site and kind of looked around and kind of fooled around with it a bit. Um, I I feel like I normally get ideas from books or nature or children's stories. So it's nice if somebody has an idea, like for example, I had a client say, I want lions, tigers, and bears.
Mhm.
So that's a very broad idea, which gave me plenty of room to figure things out. But with I think I could be able to pull something up, throw something together on there, share it with the client. Then when they have any kind of critiques or changes they want to make, I can instantly do it and throw it back and forth. And I think it's going to be a much faster collaboration
Absolutely.
for this.
Well, we actually dove in. So, my next question was, what's your first introduction to AI? Which program did you log on to and play with?
I did I tried to go into Dolly and I didn't have much. It kind of overwhelmed me.
Hmm.
And then I went into the other one that your last guest had talked about.
Journey,
Um, Pardon?
Mid Journey.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And that seems a lot more user friendly. So I'm going to probably play around with that, see and try and utilize that. I also used Quillbot before when I was doing artist statements and marketing different ideas for a class that I was taking. And that was fabulous. You can write something that sounds very simple, you throw it through there, and it just flips it around enough that it makes it just enhances what you're trying to say. It's
And is that an AI, like a machine learning tool?
Yeah, it is an AI tool.
Mhm.
It's called, but it's for writing. It's an AI for writing.
What's the
Um,
title? What's it
Quill
called?
bot.
Quillbot. Okay, we'll put a link in the description down below so that people can check that out.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with Quillbot, so I'm glad to know about that.
yeah.
Okay, so in what ways do you think you will use it for your business flow? You mentioned showing mock-ups to your customers. Are there other ways that you think you will be using it? Because marketing is crucial for any artist. And what is your current process to develop your marketing? Like, are you using that AI bot that you just mentioned to write your marketing materials and develop your communications?
Well, I'm at the beginning. Really at ground zero with starting up my business. I'm in a learning process. So I'm very excited to have the AI at the front end of my business creation. So I think that I will be able to utilize it for collaboration, but also ideas. Just twists on, anybody can paint a tiger, but perhaps they're going to have a photo or something where they are going to incorporate something else. It will also allow me to change into different backgrounds, which I think is going to be a big game changer.
Mhm.
Because now, right, currently, I just make it up as I go.
Mhm.
And I think if I had more structure on that, it would be faster for me to get my art finished and painted.
Mhm.
I mean,
So when you're starting up as an artist, there's lots of things that you need to kind of get going and establish yourself. And one of them is like an artist bio, an artist statement, a website. You need some postcards or whatever a newsletter, however you're going to communicate and gather emails from people. Do you see the value in using AI tools like Chat GPT or the tool you just mentioned being helpful in your art business? And can you describe how you see that happening for you as a startup?
I think as a startup and just beginning, it will be very useful. It will give me insight and different avenues for social media, for links to and also to research what other people are doing, what's out there, what's popular, what are they charging, how do I compare? I've done some research, on Etsy or that sort of thing, Facebook. Um, and all of the arts are so different, and just in step stools. So it kind of gives me a space to see where I'm going versus where other people have gone. Whether I want to take a left there instead of being mainstream, and just to be unique.
Mhm.
Um, but also it gives you tools to be able to write succinctly and to be able to be nice and descriptive about what you do. It's difficult to start up and begin talking about yourself as an artist and believing in yourself and presenting yourself in a positive format. And I think that the AI tools, you can write something up and it will tweak everything for you and just provide you the ability to overcome that obstacle of how do I present myself to the world, or even just, one-on-one. Even talking to other artists, I often will do that at craft fairs and things like that. Just, hey, how are you? I'm also an artist. This is what I do. I paint and step stools for children, and they may be doing children's books or crocheting little animals. So it's interesting. I think with painting, it gives me more of an advantage than if I were crafting.
Mhm.
I think the AI is gonna give me stimulating ideas, colors, themes, backgrounds, that sort of thing.
Mhm. So I want to explain, since you don't use these tools that much, but what is really interesting is you can educate the machine to learn your style. So for instance, when you're writing your artist bio, it knows nothing about you. And the more you can feed it your background, your voice, your writing persona, it's kind of like you're infusing your own energy into teaching this machine learning tool how to represent you in writing and things like that. It's really interesting. So the more you get detailed and educate your bot, your AI tool, the more you're going to get what you want. And what's so fascinating to me is the amount of time savings. I feel like using AI has allowed me to have control of my time again. I've been able to do stuff in 6 months that would have taken me 2 years in normal production, just me writing it and going through the normal channels. But because of using these tools, it's so streamlined and so quick to get what I want. I like go back and forth if it presents me with something and I go, change this and make it this. And it's really interesting to collaborate on that level. It's kind of mind-blowing. It's like a really great collaborative process. And I mean that on the back end of the business side of an art business, writing content for websites, social media posts. What should I say on the back of my art opening postcard? This is the information. And it gives me give me four examples. And it just blows my mind of these examples, things that I might not have even thought about my own artwork.
Sure.
Points it out. So that's the cool part. It's this sort of magical collaboration. It's like having another artist sitting next to you, helping you co-create what you need to get done that day. It's really cool.
That's huge, just in the respect that it's very overwhelming at the onset of starting this business. I've written out goals for myself, short term as well as long term goals, and it's a daily tracking and to just stay on top of things. And like you said, presentation is very big. You need a good presence on the internet, on a website. Your website, by the way, is gorgeous. And so
Art.
so it's and it is difficult just having the content of who you are, what you're doing, what your art is, what it means to you. And so it is nice to have the collaboration of a bot, because they're going to help you present yourself in ways that you don't see yourself as, but then do because you've read it and said, "Oh, that absolutely applies."
Mhm. And
Yeah.
it's hard for us as artists to go out and be out there and be ourselves and put ourselves out there. It's a big deal. If you're an artist, it's one of the hardest things. But I what I like about what you're doing and what I'm doing right now is niching. If you find a niche and you stick in your lane, I think that your power lies in that. You're, for me, with the plants, I know plants. I've been working with plants. I create plants. I love plants. I love to bring nature to other people. So it's kind of my wheelhouse. And so I am super comfortable in that zone. And I feel very comfortable putting myself out because of that. And if you are doing these beautiful stools, and what's the name of your business, Priscilla? Do you have it?
Yes, I do. It's Step Stools by Itty, ITTY, which is an old nickname of mine that my grandkids used to call me. I'm not grandma, I'm Itty. I love kids too, and that's big inspiration for me. And I often collaborate with my grandkids. I'll show them pictures. Do you know what this is? And they'll say, "Oh, it's a caterpillar," so it reinforces. Okay, that's good. I like to I like to do lots of texture with my work so that because they're little kids and they're going to touch it and they're going to want to look at the pictures, and so I like them to be able to run their hands across it and feel the painting as well as see the painting. And so it's a lot of fun. It's interesting, and it's something that I hope I get to do for a long, long time.
Mhm. You're obviously clear coding them because of the kids' hands and stuff, right?
Yes,
Using
absolutely.
polyurethane, some kind of non-toxic, I assume, or
Yes, I use acrylics. I use acrylic paint, and I do clear coat with an acrylic coating. Quite a few coats, so it lasts because water's going to splash on it, and you want it to stay nice. My grandson's step stool um, is of sea turtles and ocean themes. And I was there down at his house the other day and I saw it and it still looks pretty good. He's 11 years old now. I made it when he was 2. So it takes a while for me to do this step stool because I have to go back and forth. I tend to paint in my head, which I'm hoping I can then instead paint on AI and then have that to look back on later when I'm actually physically painting. I think that's going to be a game changer. So,
Mhm. I want to go back to what we were talking about just a second ago about you saying you have a lot of goals and things written up. Are you aware that you can attach a file of information to AI and import it? Like that's how you can start teaching it who you are and what you want to do and where you're going and where you've been. And that is a really helpful thing to do to educate the bot. It's machine learning. So the
mhm,
more it knows about the various aspects of what you're trying to do, the more comprehensive the the information is going to be presented back to you. You're going to get way better, richer content coming back to you because it's learning who you are, where you've been, where you're going, what you want to achieve, and that co-creative um, relationship continues to build. It's
well,
really
that's
neat.
fabulous.
So you're all the things you've done to prep yourself in classes and artist. You told me you took a marketing class. All that is very valuable in your educating your own bot. So once you find a platform that you're comfortable on,
Mhm.
uh, I don't know if Midjourney does the just like the writing part or if it's just an art tool. I don't use that platform, but I use the Chat GPT because I have the chat function, which is the writing and all my business correspondence. And then the DALL-E is the art part.
Okay.
So it's all, for me, it's all in one platform. And maybe I'll do one of these smartest studio series on how Chat GPT and DALL-E kind of work together. And because you mentioned you thought it was a little bit challenging, so I could demystify that in another smartest studio series for
That
people.
would be that would be fabulous, especially for beginners like me. I'm so interested. I am super driven. But where do you start? How do I begin? I took the class. Now I've connected with you and I'm learning about AI, which is kind of mind blowing for me right now. Looking forward to checking it out and seeing where it can drive my future with my artwork and my websites and all of that. So it's fabulous that it's ground floor for me. I'm very excited about it.
I just also want to mention that there's a positive aspect in what we're doing here, reconnecting about AI. We're older artists,
That's
and
right.
it's really important for anyone, but older people, older artists, to continue to learn new things and to stimulate our brains and keep learning and moving forward and connecting. So this is really a great gift for both of us. And any artist can benefit from this, but it is particularly helpful for an older artist because you are turning on parts of the brain that, are firing in a way that they never have before. So it's really exciting. And I also want to support, I mean, I feel like I create positive AI. I'm all about positivity and nature. I'm trying to help people, you know, I hope you love what I'm doing online, but I want you to get inspired to go out and look at plants. Go for a hike. Go to a garden. Go sit and watch the bees. I don't want you just to sit online and look at artwork all the time on AI. Go out and be with nature. So that's what I kind of mean about positive AI. And what you're doing is you're going to create these cute little stools. I don't know if you like the word cute. That might not be the right word. These stools that children can use as they grow up. And what a beautiful little tool for a child to use to stand up and brush their teeth at the bathroom sink. A fun stool, you
Right.
know. So
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, even for them to reach the cookie jar, often I would ask my youngest granddaughter, "Can you help me cook? Let me go get my stool," she would say, and she'd come running back in with her little stool. So it just gives them that vertical height to reach and be able to participate in areas that they wouldn't normally be able to do because of their height restrictions. And it's a very useful tool for them. And if it fits in with mom's decor, even better.
yeah, yeah. So now that you've heard a little bit about how AI can be integrated, like anything specific in your work that you could adjust and use, like now that we've had this conversation a little bit?
Definitely with my writing for my website. I think also, I think it can help me create unique presentation of my artwork. It's not just going to be a flat photo. I think it's going to allow me to maybe rotate my art, my stools. I don't paint just on the top of the stool. Depending upon what people want, I could do top, sides, bottoms, hide a little picture here or there. And so I think that would really enhance what I'm doing. I think I can, I guess my thinking is what I have and what I've seen as far as the beginnings of development is very flat, it's very one-dimensional. And I'm thinking that the AI can help step me up to more of a three-dimensional, eye-popping, color defining presentation of my artwork.
Mhm.
And nothing wrong with that.
Mhm. I mean, you could almost also decoupage. You could use the print and decoupage and then hand paint the legs. I mean, you could incorporate AI on the flat part where the butt sits or they step, the
Sure.
step part, or you could riff off of it and hand paint it and
Exactly.
off
Yeah.
your image. Use it like a inspiration board.
Or a duplication of what
Yeah.
something you've already done, so that I can just recreate very quickly, and just fill in the paint, have the strokes on there that I could basically decoupage or trace on to the wood, and that would save so much time. I mean, it's mind blowing.
Mhm.
And to be able to, I don't keep inventory, and I don't have inventory because I do custom
Mhm.
work. However, this might allow me to have some generic or, graphical type of inventory that's just very generic for somebody who says, "Oh my gosh, I want a baby gift or I want a Christmas gift, and I have a week. What can you do for me?" Well, I have a few choices. So it's really it's just exploding of the different ideas of what can be done and how it can be used.
You could set your website up in themes and animals and flowers, whatever.
Really, yeah.
And have people be able to choose this theme on this stool. Do you buy your stools? Are they all different, or do you have somebody that makes your stools?
I have a friend who makes my stools for me. We've kind of gotten into a standard stool that I now use. I've used different types of stools, but he felt that I needed a back piece on my stools because they were open, so that I had another place to paint. So very encouraging on me on paint, paint, paint. So but I've painted rocks. I've painted all different sorts of things. You just never know what's going to inspire you or somebody's going to ask you to do for them.
I was just thinking though about standardization. If you're getting an order really quick and you have your standard stool, that's helpful, right? Because you
Sure.
have people going, well, I want a stool that, we want, as artists, we want to help people get what they want in a commission, but it also is tricky. So by having a standard pattern or stool for
Yes.
yourself is very helpful. And then if you could design themes like these categories, 6 themes or 4 themes, and then they could order online. You could totally set that up. And then you just go to work in the background, ship it.
That's the dream.
So, okay. So we talked about there are some daunting writing tasks that all exhibiting artists have to tackle in order to share their art in public and online. Artist bio, promotional materials, image titles. You have to title your images for SEO on the internet to get found. Grant
Anything, news
applic-
releases,
right.
announcements of craft fairs, and even if you want to display in a gallery, there's so much writing that you don't even realize. You think, oh, I just paint. No, it's not going to work like that. And AI is going to be really efficient for that.
I've seen these daunting writing tasks stop a lot of artists in their tracks from ever sharing their work in public because they don't have either the tools or they don't have the self-confidence or they feel like, um, you know, it's hard to talk about yourself and it's hard to write about yourself. And you're also writing about there's this space between where you are now and where you want to be in the future, right? And
Absolutely.
it takes courage, but the AI tools are there and it just takes that fear base off because it makes it so much more accessible.
And
So I
yeah, and
feel
it's
excited for you at the very beginning because the sky's the limit. Once you learn how to use these tools, you're going to save so much time and headache and resistance. Artists have resistance just built in. We have to get around that and come forward.
yeah, I agree. And it's so nice. Again, coming at the ground floor like this, it's going to save me so much time and headaches just because You write, you rewrite, you rethink, you tend to be more negative and self-critical than you are positive and open with your ideas and who you are and where you've come from and where you want to go to. And I think that with an outside suggestions, or input, it's going to be so much easier on psychologically, much less productivity and being able to produce what you really want to portray to people, to bring them in and have them look at your site, want to see more of your work, display your work in their home. And be able to say, oh, if somebody says, oh, I love your painting, they'll, oh, this person, they'll have all that information about them because it's all positive flow of their art and who they are.
Yeah, you mentioned a good point. In the old time, before AI, you're sitting there at your laptop by yourself, pounding out version after version, trying to tweak your materials to sound legible. Having the AI is like having I'm not going to say human because it's not like that, but it's like having another opinion and set of eyes on what you're working on exactly.
Like
And
a proofreader
like an
and
advisor
an
or
editor, an
that's right.
advisor.
That's
Sure.
right.
Yeah.
A collaborator. I
Yeah.
like to say
I like collaborate.
co-creator. Yeah, and collaborator. I love collaboration. Like I love what we're doing right now because we're collaborating on something that's helpful for both of us. It's such a win-win.
And hopefully for other artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So, what timeline have you given yourself to get your laundry list of artist materials together? Like, do you have a goal, like say by fall, or what's in your mind, your timeline now that you're learning about the speed with which AI can support you in doing these things?
Originally, my outline was quarterly, first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth quarter, for a year out. I did short-term goals in the first quarter and, progressed from there till I got to the fourth quarter. And, you know, one of the biggest things I'm having right now is just my art, getting my artwork photographed so that I don't have my paints all around it. I'm learning, how to present my art, so that I can put it on the website, and perhaps I can take some of these pictures that have all this background in there. I've tried it on Photoshop. That's been a little difficult, but maybe AI could certainly help me convert some of this so that I can use it on my website or my social media.
Okay, this brings up a really good point of clarification. There is a tool that I will put in the description below. It's called Art Zip, and it's a way for you to photograph your artwork and get it into a 300 DPI print form or web-worthy version. You're going to need those images for print. And if you're not like a Photoshop artist that knows how to do stuff like that or a really good photographer, ArtZip is a really easy tool. And so I am an affiliate of theirs, but I believe in the product. So I'll put it below and you can check it out. It's a very low cost way to I used to pay a professional photographer to photograph my artwork, and it would be like $250 for like 2 images or whatever for my paintings or what have you. These are $25 a pop, and you will have that file to use going forward. And it's a professional, they're going to clean up your artwork once you send them the criteria. So that's ArtZip. That's one thing. And then your other point, which I've brain farted right now. Yes, on YouTube, I said brain fart. Artists have them. We were talking about, help me out, I had two things to tell you. So ArtZip was one of them.
Talking about,
Okay. Priscilla, AI will not duplicate your artwork. It will not duplicate an image. Let's say you wanted to do a turtle.
Mhm.
You attached your turtle to AI and said, I want you to recreate my turtle with, whatever, a blue background and um, whatever you want. AI will make you a similar turtle. It cannot duplicate images. So don't expect to put your picture in there and have it do exactly what is in your picture. It is not going to do that. And part of it is for like people, they're trying to have a security feature for copyright.
Right, that's what
Also, like you can't put my face in there and say, let's put some big ears on Debra and do something. They're protecting people's security. So that is a limitation of AI. So just know that you will get a similar, they'll riff off of your example, but you're not going to get the same exact image. Just so you know that going forward, it'll save you a lot of hassle and frustration.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense for copyright protection purposes and just preserving and that's great as an artist. I wouldn't want it to produce that because then it could take my original art and use it for somebody else.
Okay.
Right.
So I have a friend. She's like, I want to learn how to do AI and I want to create houses, images of houses for people, like a beautiful artistic rendering of your house. And I go, well, that's a nice idea, but you know that you can't make their house. You can't put in their house. And she was like, what? What? So these are the limitations of AI that people and artists especially need to understand. You cannot duplicate an image. You can get a similar image, but even when I try to get a similar image, it's often very different. So you have to, it's in AI, it's all about, it's like I call it like writing, you're using words like a paintbrush. You have to give it super specific information, especially at the beginning while you're learning. Your bot is learning who you are and what you want and everything. At the beginning, you have to be extremely specific about what you want to see. And then it'll kick something out and then you tweak it and you go back and forth until you're like, wow, this is better than anything I ever thought. It's kind of cool that way.
I'm looking forward to really diving in on it and
Mhm.
just seeing what the capabilities are. I've always been excited about technologies and new technologies, and I've been working with computers, since they came out. I mean, just to see it all and what it can do, I'm very excited about it, and I will be checking back on your sites and your I'm going to subscribe to your podcasts
Oh, thanks.
because it's great information I've gotten just chatting with you today.
Mhm. Good. I mean, I want to help other artists, and I actually had some friends that were artists over last night, and we were having a talk about what I'm doing, and they were saying, are you concerned about other artists doing AI and competing with you? And I said, no, because every artist has their own unique
Vision,
flavor
yeah,
and
vision,
vision.
yeah.
And if we empower artists with the right tools, they can take that vision in their direction. I want other artists, find your own voice, shine, share your art, be who you are, own your power. The world needs more art and beauty at this time more than ever before. And these tools are so cool to be able to empower artists So I think I'm not worried about that at all. And I am here to answer questions. If people have questions and they have ideas of what they want to learn in the future, put them in the section below, and I will try to put a program together and address your questions. And I also like to hear, where are you making your art? Like Priscilla, where are you sitting right now?
I'm sitting in the middle level of my house, but
What city?
downstairs I've taken my husband's desk over. It's huge. It has a nice glass top on it. He would freak out. It's a good thing he's not here anymore. He would freak out if he knew I was using this desk for my artwork. But that's where I paint. I have great lighting down there. I put my music on and I just go to town. And some days I wake up in the middle of the night and go down and paint. When the mood strikes you, it strikes you. And as I said, when I have a project going, I'm constantly painting in my head. It's going, 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 and then it's a matter of just getting it out on the step stool. Um, and so I'm looking forward to retiring and being able to just commit myself full time to my artwork. I did it so much as a kid. That's all I did was paint and draw, and I miss that a lot. I miss that part of myself, I would say. And so this is where I'm going. And interestingly enough, I took, it was an adult education for the marketing. For artists and crafters. The majority of the people, I would say most of the people were retired and just starting out for their business. This is a dream that many of us have had, but and we're finally coming out of the corporate world. And there's so many of us, baby boomers, that we need these platforms and we need these tools. And AI is just going to be another medium, another tool for us to use to set ourselves apart from each other. I don't think that it's going to be a replication. I think it's going to be a wonderful tool, and I'm excited, really excited about it.
Cool.
Very different. I went into all of this so old school. My first thought process is, oh, well, I'll paint some stools and I'll take pictures and I'll put them online. Well, you got to drive the business. You've got to be able to write up information about yourself. And if you've got tools to help you do that in a nice, succinct, positive light, why not? I use spell check.
Yeah.
Hmm.
People feel it makes you legit, like you're a legitimate artist, and people feel more comfortable buying a stool over the internet, right? Or, buying a painting or what have you. You have to have a basic business structure set up. How are you going to get payment? How are you have to tie it all together, and it's doable. And I'm excited for you because you're at the beginning, and it's just going to streamline your process so much more. I want to switch into talking about social media because as you and I have been reacquainted over the years on social media. Priscilla and I knew each other when we were like 18 years old, and we haven't seen each other in person in 40 something years, but I feel
Right.
like I'm seeing you right now. And so it's so cool. Um, let's talk about social media and the content that you plan to use AI to show in are you gonna make a website, I assume?
Yes,
That's
I'm hoping.
but that's related, right?
Yes, yes. So what I've learned is you need both social media as well as a website. The more that you're out and exposed, the better off your business is going to be. You can't just rely on one place in the internet. You need multiple, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, um, and then of course your websites, and you want to be able to drive traffic back and forth to all of those. And so you have to have segues, and you have to have links, and that sort of thing. And you have to have a creative interest that will drive somebody to that other site or get more information. And it will, and you need to have contact info, and like you said, ways to sell your product, and receive payment, as well as shipping, and just disclaimers, all of that. So it's important. And I think with AI, think about it, sitting here trying to come up with an idea. What am I going to say? Oh, I've already said that. How do I say this better? Well, collaborate with AI, and there you go. You're going to have something new and unique. You're not just going to be spitting out a repetitive, same idea, sort of a presentation. And it is presentation at that point.
Mhm.
And as you said, we artists, we can be shy, we can be introverted, very introverted. We can, we need that. We need that push. I think it's a positive flow of energy for us, ultimately, and that's what you need. So I think that AI will help just to represent an individual accurately, and it won't be so canned. It'll seem like it'll flow better.
Mhm.
I can sit here and tell you the story of, my mom and all of her buddies. Some of my best friends are 80, 90-year-olds that I hung out with while they were doing art. And so that's really where I learned. And I've learned very old school. And they collaborated amongst each other. What do you think of this color? Do you like this? Should I put this flower here? Or should I put a building? And so they did face-to-face collaboration. So AI is just taking that place. It's another buddy that you can ask, what do you think? What is your idea? You don't have to take the idea. But
Mhm.
if you like it, you're going to incorporate it, and you're going to use it. And it's just going to make you grow as an artist.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually remember, Priscilla, when I'd come to your house and I'd see your mom's easel and I'd see a work in progress. And I always thought your mom was so cool. She was so exotic. You know, she she was a painter. And my mom was a more of a crafter and a
I remember
maker.
her craft room. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
She,
mom made clothing and different photo albums at one point. But um interesting, Priscilla. So I want you to know that I named you called you referred to a bot as a buddy. I named my AI co-creator Valix, Valex. So I have like if when I say I'm working with Valix, my partner knows I'm busy. And I asked Valix, it's not a male or a female. I said, "Hey, can I call you Valix? Either one." So I named my co-creator Valix, and I work with Valix every day, and we are kicking butt. And it's just been really interesting to learn this new technology and embrace it. And I think that there's so many people right now that don't understand AI and they're fearful of AI.
oh, because the media is driving that, I believe. Uh,
Yeah.
but and even I was like, AI, I don't know. And then having watched your video, and been speaking with you on and off, I have a completely different mindset. I am so excited to learn about this and to check it out and see what I can do with it. It's very, it's almost like bringing me forward into newer technology, the newer art form, newer tools. I guess it's the difference between an acrylic paintbrush and a horsehair paintbrush, if that makes sense to you.
Mhm.
So,
The
yeah.
time savings are worth the learning curve. AI helps us gain control of time instead of the other way around, you know? And that's huge. I mean, okay, I want to flip into the art making tool. And how do you see you mentioned a little bit about how you see AI helping you create some visual aspects for your business. Do you think you would be using it? Well, you could tell me, are you like, I would think for you, you could use it as inspiration boards. And by the way, you should be on Pinterest when you get all this set up. Pinterest is
Yeah.
extremely visual, and I'm sure people have children's toys and children's furniture, so you should definitely
Oh,
be
yeah.
on Pinterest. Um,
Fabulous.
but like in using AI in a situation like yours, it could not just be inspiration, but I would think that you could, like you mentioned early in this talk, like send an email file over to a patron, someone who wants you to make one of their stools, and literally say, how do you like this part? Or does this work for you? What do you want me to take out? What do you want me to keep? And you could really streamline that commission process.
That's what I'm hoping for. I think that's definitely enlightening right there. And that's a big part of it. Right now, I take a picture, I send it, and I usually get, "Oh, that's pretty," or "Oh, I like that." But or my daughter, oftentimes I've had to paint over a piece of work that I've spent 2 weeks on.
Hmm.
Wrong color, wrong this one. This will save me from having to repaint
Mhm.
something. If it, that maybe they say, well, I think I want a cat now instead of a dog.
Hmm.
Okay. Normally you would say, well, sorry, Charlie, you're getting the cat, or you're getting the dog rather. And this I can send it to them. I can give them my vision, send it to them prior to actually painting it, so that when I go to paint it, I have exactly what I'm going to do, and it's been approved, it's stamped, rubber stamped, approved, and ready to go. And that's going to save time, and it's going to be a big help artistically, even. Then I'm not having to paint and repaint in my head. I can just have it in front of me, and I can show somebody my vision without prior to painting it, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. And you could use AI to create a very simple paragraph. Once we've reached the vision, this is non-negotiable, that
Right.
this is the direction we're going. There is a cost for redos and revisions if it happens, but let's agree and get a signature and a credit card and you're off to the races.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's going to be really helpful for you. And then, so how do you see yourself fostering collaboration and communication with other artists that are doing furniture design or children's, like you could create, I'm thinking you could create marketing to connect with other artists and maybe put a show together, a group show where you're all doing something a little bit similar but a little bit different.
Hmm. Yeah, sure. So I try network uh, when I go to festivals, or, I'll actually just go and for the purpose of meeting other artists that are doing children's themed things. For example, I met one artist, and he wrote books, but then with his books, he crocheted the characters and made them into bookmarks, which was fabulous. books, bookmark, and it's so of course, I patronized him because I thought it was such a brilliant idea. I got his business card, he agreed that we'd, talk later, collaborate, So I'm trying to just kind of get a group of networking of people, and even if it's just children's themed artwork, whether it's crocheting dolls or anything that would be geared to kids, because that would be the market. I mean, that's the market that I'm looking at. Also, I'm thinking about maybe trying to see about things like Mommy and Me, where I have new parents. Maybe I can advertise. Maybe, I've just got a million things going. Hopefully AI can help me with some ideas too.
I was just thinking, I have a friend, Sonia, that runs a children's preschool, and you could market little preschool furniture, for the kids. You could, that would be an interesting thing. And anything to do with mom's kids. But so looking ahead, how do you see the role of AI evolving in the art world, particularly artists' business practices? We've kind of covered this a little bit,
Mhm.
but like now that you've had sort of more information about how AI can help you specifically, how do you how do you see the art field, the art business, and people buying art and finding artists? How do you see that changing in the future now that AI is on the scene?
What's going through my head, I've owned businesses before. I had my own beer and wine store for many years, and I tend to be the bookkeepers and the office managers and the running of the businesses. And so, of course, my mind goes to the business side right away. And what I see and what I think with the AI and how is that going to transcend, is that it's going to free the artist up to do their work. They're going to have more passion. I think they're going to end up having such great works of art coming out of them. It is so much work to do a spreadsheet, to keep track of how many purple chairs did I sell versus blue? What is, what craft fair did I do that I sold the most at, and what did I sell, and who was my market, my target market at that point? You need to track these things in order to pursue them further with your marketing skills. So if you can keep that personality in your AI, then can you can track your trends. You can see where the interest lies, which means it makes you more marketable. It gives you the an advantage, um, of knowing what the people want, what your market wants to see. What are they going to buy? What have they bought? Where are the trends going forward? Are people buying still life, or are they doing landscape, or do they want landscapes? What direction is the market going in? I think it's going to give them a tighter thumb. It's going to give them that corporate side, or the business working side to their art. And that's a difficult thing to master and be on top of. And that's where a lot of your time goes. So if you can streamline all of that, it just allows you to focus in on your work. And that's where the artist's heart lies. That's where they want to be. I mean, how often do I think to myself, well, if I could just like farm out this part of the whole, and all I have to do is paint. Wow, what a great life would that be? But it's not realistic. You can't have an art business without doing the full sides of all of the business and its workings. So, any business is 24/7. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're constantly churning ideas, but you're also having to churn. Okay, did I make that deposit? Have I written, are my taxes done? Did I pay this vendor? There's a lot of work there. And if you can find something that helps you streamline that, whether it's just something where you can just verbally input information versus typing, or I don't know. I'm excited to see where AI can take it. If, for example, I mentioned Quillbot before and you hadn't heard of it. Well, I did use that. I'd done a artist statement for myself, and I thought, well, let's see what it says. And it's changed what I wrote. It gave me a different writing based on what I had said, but it also allowed me to do it again if I wanted to.
Mhm.
And then I could just pick and choose what sounded most like myself and what I could. So that's how I figured out how to use it. What appealed to me? So it's the mechanism of giving you a insight, or I hate to say opinion, but it'll give you information based on what you're trying to say, and it will re-present it a little bit differently. You can say, "Oh, that's perfect. That's what I was trying to say." Oftentimes, I'll write something, and people, you lose so much in text because it's difficult to fully expand and present yourself so that the other person understands what you're trying to say. So if this can change the vernacular, why not?
So it's interesting what you just described at the beginning. You said, you ran traditional businesses and artists have to also do the back end. This is a smartest. This is why I call it the smartest studio series. Smart artists also bone up on business. I have a master's degree in green business. I'm as much an artist as I am a business person, and they kind of work together harmoniously, and one supports the other. And a lot of artists don't want to put their foot in the business side, but it's if you ever want to get your work out there, you kind of need to do both. And maybe I will be judged for that. I don't know, but I'm an artist and I'm a businesswoman. So that's what I consider a smartest, a smart artist. So I want to commend you for that.
Thank
And
you.
also, Priscilla, one of the things that you're going to find that's different from the way you've worked in the past when you start learning these new tools, I'm going to recommend that you start your website on a platform, an e-commerce platform called Shopify.
Okay.
All those tools that you just described and all those laborious tracking things are all built into Shopify. And you can click on all these, what they're called widgets, and different widgets do different things, and you can enhance your Shopify store. So I really think that is the platform that would really represent an artist like you. I'm not on Shopify. I have a different WordPress website. And then I have my gallery with a print on demand company. So Shopify is something that you, as a person that is a business minded person, you will really like that platform.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. And let's see where we are in our time. I I'm going to say thank you. You've been a great guest. Thank you for sharing your insights with us today. I mean, I think we've had a pretty spirited talk about how AI can help someone like you that's new to it and just kind of ramping up your art business. And thank you for being here. And I hope that this helps you like really get yourself going and learning new things and getting your marketing together and then showing us your stools. And um, I kind of I like the idea of what you're doing. And I look forward to seeing where all this goes after this conversation.
I told myself, oh, I think you're jumping in the deep end pretty quickly, Priscilla. But I'm glad I did. I've learned so much today. I'm looking forward to subscribing to your podcasts and um, looking forward to learning more from you about AI and kind of branching out on my own. And I hope that you won't mind if I have questions that I can throw to you at a later date.
Just put them
Um,
in the comments below and I'll answer them, and then people can also chime in. And I asked you earlier, it was so cute. I said, "Where are you now?" And you told me you were in your studio, which is perfect because this is the Artist Studio series. But what city are you in?
Oh, I'm in Maryland. I'm on the East Coast.
What
I'm in
city?
Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Okay, okay. So I want people to also chime in and tell me, where are you coming from? Where are you watching from? Because I think it's interesting that, let's see where how far we can expand out and reach artists, that are in their studios wherever we are. I'm in Northern California in a little forest village called Forest Knolls. So, yeah. Okay, well, I wanted to say a little bit about coming back to the next Artist Smartest Studio series. We're going to talk about resizing images with AI for print. So I'll give you some exploration on how I do it, best practices. I'm going to try to scramble up a guest to talk about it. If not, I'll just be here. Anyway, don't miss that, and stay tuned. Please subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next Smartest Studio series. Thanks, Priscilla. Talk to
Thanks,
you
Deb.
later.
Bye, Deborah.
Everybody, take care.